So we are here with my sister, Jessica Erickson, who is a professional clinical counselor, and she is going to talk with us today about just dealing with stress and anxiety during these changing times. And so, Jess, I just want to ask you, what are some tools that we can use when we are feeling a little bit stressed or we're feeling anxious?
Number one tool is breathing. Breathing is the fastest way to slow down your central nervous system and get you to relax quickly. And I think the moment that you can focus on your breathing, then you're in the present moment. And once you're in the present moment, you're not thinking too far ahead into the future, and which is what induces a lot of the anxiety. You can just notice your feet, notice your legs, notice your shoulders, continue to breathe, and then once you find that your breathing is normalized, check in with where you're holding on to the tension, and then take a deep breath, and then take on whatever it is that's in front of you.
So you said something about noticing your feet and noticing your legs and noticing your shoulders. Like, why is that important?
It's important to bring you back into the present moment. So,
can you say a little bit more, like, what does that mean, like, bring you back into the present moment?
So right now, in this particular moment, everything is good. There's nothing bad that's harming us. We're here having a conversation. So it brings us back into reality. Our mind wants to travel into the future and catastrophize things. Yeah. And so when we go into that future place, then of course it's going to make you feel anxious. But if you can bring your thoughts back to your feet where you're sitting and go, is there anything happening at this moment that should be causing you stress? And going back into the logical brain and going, not really. So then you take a deep breath and, come back to your senses so that you can think about what your plan is moving forward without this feeling of tension and stress. Yeah. Because if you go into planning things when you're in a panicky mode, it's not going to be a good plan. When you can plan from a place where you're thinking logically and sensibly, then you'll be able to come up with a good, realistic plan that will be helpful for you and your family.
And so what about people, there's a lot of changes that are happening. All of our schools have closed, and so now everybody is working from home, and some of them are working from home and they have kids, and so to get to a place where it's quiet again and calm might seem far-fetched. So how would you, what advice would you give to families who have a lot going on in their household right now?
First things first is create a schedule. Come back to your routine.
Mm-hmm.
So think about your house now as a school. Kids respond well to routine.
Yeah.
When they're in school, they know that from 8 to 8:30 it's this time. From 8:30 to 9 it's this time. This is the break time.
Yeah.
So now your home is somewhat of a school, so you want to maintain those sense of routine and stability.
Yeah.
I'm a school counselor, and so one of the things that our district has done is shifted their learning to online learning. So I'm not sure if schools in your area have done the same.
Okay.
If they have, then you can again create a similar routine that they would have at school, and that will create a sense of safety and a sense of things are normal. They're just a little different.
Yeah, I'm going to move you just in case it's a little hard for people to hear.
Okay.
So creating a routine, which would mean something like we'll wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then from 8 to 8:30 we're doing breakfast. I don't know, I'm making this up. And then from 8:30 to 9 it's showers or vice versa, and just put that schedule on a board so everybody knows where they are on the schedule, or if they're falling behind, or if we're ahead of schedule.
Yes. And that schedule will help to maintain a sense of normalcy at home. and kids will adapt to it quickly. When there's no schedule, no routine, it will cause a sense of chaos for the student or for the child, both internally and externally. And so we want to eliminate those factors the best way we can. So I think that the best thing you can do is sit down as a family with your kids and come up with a schedule, ask them what their schedule looked like at school, and see what you can do to somewhat mimic that type of schedule so they can keep that the same. And so when they transition back to school, it's not going to be a huge transition back and another thing that they have to get used to. It'll just be what they were doing, but just in a different setting.
I don't think I've ever thought about kids having to transition back into school and that being a transition. So that's actually really helpful. And I think that that's something that could be helpful for people who don't have kids as well, is to still maintain that schedule.
Yeah, well, I mean, change is very difficult for a lot of people, children included, and so the more you can maintain the same sort of routine that you did before, the easier it'll be when this all passes and you go back to what you were doing before.
Yeah, and when we talk to our kids about just anything that could be emergent or could be perceived as traumatic, what advice do you have in terms of guiding kids through, just what we're going through right now with the pandemic? How do we talk to our kids about that?
So kids are a little bit different in the way that they communicate, and so kids aren't going to communicate with words and say, I'm feeling this, or I feel this, or I feel scared. Some kids do, but for the most part, kids will internalize how they feel. So I think the key thing for parents to do is to maybe have them draw a picture about how they're feeling about the situation, and then that will give you some feedback as to what they're feeling internally, and it'll give you some information about how to address it in a way that's going to be helpful rather than harmful.
So making sure that they can draw a picture about it. Is there any other suggestions?
You can have them write a letter. If they are able to write, you can have them write a letter. You can play games. That's a great way to check in with your children. One of the things I like to share with parents when they have dinner together, one way that's very effective is if everyone shares something about their day. For example, this is the thing that I like to share with parents is share one good thing, one bad thing, what's your favorite thing, or they can come up with a question, or someone, you can take question, you can take turns to answer the third question, but always what's one good thing that happened and how you dealt with it, what's one bad thing that happened and how are you dealing with it. And then if they're able to answer how they're dealing with it, maybe back off on the how you're dealing with it, just what's one good thing, one bad thing, keep it simple that way. And then what's your favorite ice cream or something like that, or who's your best friend, or what's one new thing you learned today. If you could change something, what would it be? So questions like that. And I can also send you a template. It's a really fun game that families can play together, and it has a list of really unusual questions that will intrigue kids, and also a great way to learn more about them too.
Oh, that would be nice. So if you send it, then we'll try and post it in the comments below, or we'll get it up on our website. We're working right now on our website on getting a page that just is supportive for parents with kids. So like coloring books and a link to PBS Kids.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Several resources in regards to how to talk to your children about coronavirus, and in both English and Spanish, and just other different links on like how to help students manage anxiety and stress, and also how to help parents manage anxiety and stress too. Yeah,
hey, that's really helpful. One of the things that I think that we can do is we can go out on walks as well. And so I have I just want to check these text messages because I feel like it might be something about them not being able to hear. But these are just some people that are.
I have a soft voice.
Well, oh, okay. No, I think we're good. So, so I just want to make sure that people can hear. But yeah, so we have the ability to walk out and go for walks with our families as well, right? In the midst of all this, we can still go out on walks, and is that helpful to do, or should we stay inside? I don't know.
So, one of the things that you want to write down, especially with your kids, is right now the news focuses on what we can't do. So maybe making a list of all the things you can do, and I can post a list of things and send that to you as well, so families can get ideas on how, especially if you're thinking, I don't know what we can't do. So I have a list of things that are fun things to do with kids. Like you can write letters to your nurses, your doctors, policemen, clergy, who are working around the clock to keep you informed, to keep you safe, and just a little small thank you note or something. And that makes kids feel like, even in the midst of all this chaos, I still have control to contribute. And that's one of the things Mr. Rogers said, in the midst of all types of dangerous situations, always look for the helpers. They're always out there. So, help your child to become that helper. And once you become a helper, then you feel a little sense of empowerment, rather than this sense of like helplessness.
Yeah. And is there something that you personally are doing that is very helpful? I know you have dogs, and so there are lots of people with pets. But is there something that you personally have found? In my routine, we've started doing this in our household, and it's been really helpful. I know that. Yeah.
We go for walks with the dogs, and we keep to the rule of not engaging with other people or having people pet our dogs. But that makes them feel happy, and it makes me feel happy to see them enjoying life. And so that's really nice to go for walks, keep that routine going as best you can in this situation, unless told otherwise not to do that. But maintain your distance, and from other people, hugging, all that stuff that they're asking us to do. Wash your hands when you get home. But I think I'm doing that. I'm using this time to organize, things I have not had time to do, or I've said I don't have time to do this. And the time, so I'm doing those, forcing myself to do those things. Also cooking, that's fun. That's something you guys can do together. Learn how to play games together. That's an amazing thing to do together. The best way to get the most out of your conversations too. So if you have Scrabble, if you have Connect 4, Candyland, anything, Uno, play those games together. Set out time to do that, and that really relieves a lot of stress and takes your mind off of what's going on. Also, do not keep the TV playing on 24 hours a day regarding the coronavirus. It's not helpful to you, and it's not helpful for your children. If it's important for you to get the news, you can get it online and read about it. If you need to listen to it, you can plug it into your phone so that you're listening to it. You don't want to create more fear for your kids. And that's a lot of what's on our media right now. It's scary. So limit your time listening to that, and also because then you don't want where your mind goes, energy flows. So you want to keep your mind frame on the things that are positive, what you can do, what the things you're grateful for, and then let this kind of resolve itself as it will. And then, you still want to maintain your, you still want to be informed. I'm not saying not to get informed, but you still also want to find a balance between living your life and being cautious at the same time. So trying to find that balance.
While you were talking, another thing that I thought about is, what if I've just lost my job? What if I've just been laid off? And And so there's a lot of other anxiety, life anxiety, that is playing a part. How do I make it through that if that's part of
So right now there's a lot of resources available to help families during economically during these difficult times.
Mm-hmm.
So I would recommend following the guidelines that your workplace has held for you. If you don't have those guidelines, perhaps looking at resources provided through your local church, they're provided by your community,
Mm-hmm.
and come together to help.
Yeah.
To gather resources for yourself. Do the best you can. And again, it's not going to look like it did before,
Right.
and some of it is
Right.
grieving what it was before and coming into a new reality. So be patient with yourself, try not to panic, and then try to look at where the next door is for you. So look at this as from a different mind frame. By not walking into a panicky door, but actually going, okay, this is the situation, and these are the things I need to do. Now, I may need some help, so these are the people I'm going to contact to get help and to get a little bit more support, so I don't feel like I have to do all of this on my own. And that's very hard for a lot of people to do, but again, you're very lucky you have a church community and people out there who are willing to help and to provide resources and support during difficult time.
Yeah, and I want to also remind each of you, if I may not be up to speed as to who has lost positions, but if you are finding yourself in that space, there are resources. I'm working on seeing if we can get those up on our webpage, but please, thehaven.church, check those websites out. We have links for if you have lost your job due to the pandemic, if you have kids that rely on breakfast and lunch at school, and we'll be getting some stuff from Mentis that is for our community that is 60 plus that needs someone to talk to, and so I'll be getting all of that stuff up as well, plus the things that you, Jessica, will be sharing with us, and we'll try and upload those things and have as much as we can changed, and I'll be working on that at 9 o'clock this evening. So is there anything else you want to let us know before we say goodbye?
Yes, just remember, take a deep breath, breathe. Your children are watching how you respond to the situation. Yeah. So if you can approach it in a more calm and collective way, they will also respond to future issues or calamities or catastrophes in a way that's more relaxed and I'm not saying like easygoing, but I'm saying in a more calm and logical perspective as opposed to this panicky, oh my God, what's going to happen next? So they're watching you, so make sure that you support them, you ask them how they're doing, and then just check in with them, check in with your neighbors, check in with yourself, take time for yourself, breathe, and remember all these things aren't meant to last forever. Yeah. So hang in there and stay present and ask for help.
Yeah. Well, thank you thank you so much, Jessica.
All right. Thank you, Pastor Josie. And remember, she's a great resource. Don't be afraid to ask her for help. And she always, of course, checks in with me. So I can also provide more resources that I'm aware of as well and send them over to her as well. Okay.
Yeah, so if there are resources, I just want to let you know, I'm telling everybody this. If there are resources specifically that you're looking for, put that in the comment section of this video, and I will make sure to connect those questions with her. I don't know that you'll be able to answer a lot of questions, but maybe if we gather a bunch of questions, if people have a lot of questions, then we can do another one of these videos. So God bless you. Happy Sabbath. And we will talk to you again. I'll touch bases with you again. Thank you so much, Jessica.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Whoop. End. All right. Well, happy Sabbath, everyone.